Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom. I'm the founder of Syndicate. We are a remote sales company that help guys, transition from their jobs to being fully remote, making money online. So here I have a members interview with Caspar. He's one of our students. He's probably one of the first ones that's come through, and recently he's been getting really, really good results. So I think as of recently, in the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks, he's managed to hit like 7 or 8K in commissions, which is a vast change to what he was sort of doing before. But I'll let Caspar introduce himself, give us a little bit of background about yourself, what you were doing before, and sort of, give a background so everyone understands a little bit more about you.
Yep, so my name's Caspar. I'm 21 from Southampton. Before this, I was working in the office doing a business admin apprenticeship. So I've done that 2 years and then got into this.
And how in terms of your business admin, like actual work, how did that look on a day to day? Like, was that sort of like in the office? Were you based at home? Like, how did your day to day sort of look?
So for the first 2 years, I was actually in the office coming in 8:30 a.m. After I actually finished the apprenticeship, I actually transitioned to remote work.
Yeah.
But it was very, very repetitive. The same things over and over again. 9 to 5, pretty much a 9 to 5 life.
So just literally like the whole time you're just at home, but then you went to remote and it was the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah,
nice.
when I was in the office, wake up at 6:30, 7, get in the office for 8:30, do the admin work until about 12 hour break, then back in the office, finish at 5, go home, and it's just the repetitive over and over again for 2 years straight.
So the same size. So why? What made you actually want to change then? Because most people that are probably watching now are probably going to be very similar position to yourself. So why were you like, oh, well, do you know what? I want something more. Because obviously most people you're making all
Yeah.
right money. So it's like, why did you actually decide that? You know what? This isn't it for me now. I want to change. What was that little click for you?
I mean, I think it was the same paycheck every month. And no matter how hard I worked, of course, when I joined the actual job, I was an apprentice, so I was on about 1,200 a month, which is nothing. I was 19, 1,200 a month, still living with my parents, so it wasn't a lot. After I finished the apprenticeship, kind of qualified, my paycheck did get up. I was on about 1,000. I want to say 1,950 was actually my biggest ever paycheck from that role. So it wasn't great. I
So
was just
you said 1,200 from the month.
Yeah, that was when I was starting as an apprentice.
That deal you sent me the other day, you made more in commissions from one deal than you did in the whole month before.
Yeah.
And how when you first got that first deal when you landed, when you sort of landed, I know the first one you said to me when you sent it to me, how did that actually feel? Knowing that you actually used to work, 30 days for what
Yeah.
you made in what, let's say, a single car. I think then the guy's name was Scott. You sent
Yeah.
it to me, you sent me the call to review.
I mean,
How
yeah,
did,
I made more in one day than I made in 30 days
was
at
that your
that
sort of
rate.
realization that like, oh wow, okay, this actually works?
Oh
Was
yeah,
that your
that
sort
was
of
when I
click?
thought I have to lock in. I have to put if I try even harder, I can do that every day. Like if I can do it once, I can do it every day.
Yeah, which is sort
So
of what's happened now, which is your cycle has been for the last 6 weeks, which is why you're sort of pacing 7, 8, 9, 10K a month. But in regards to actually finding Cindy Cassetta and finding us, I know obviously we knew each other beforehand and everything like that. How did you actually come across Cindy Cassetta, remote setting? How did it actually come across?
I mean, seeing you traveling every other week and every other month, going to Ibiza, Bali, Thailand, it was it was a bit of a motivation, and it was like, you know what, if you can do it, so can I. And I've reached out, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, no. And
£100%.
was that the sort of lifestyle you wanted to live? Is that a case of like you saw me traveling? Was that something that you wanted to actually think, fucking hell, like, that's exactly what I want to do?
Yeah, I was also just being kind of just having the freedom,
Yeah, yeah,
financially
yeah.
free, but also just I have the freedom now. I could go on holiday every month now if I wanted to, and probably make my money back within the first few weeks of
Yeah.
being out there.
Now, I remember because you said our first conversation we had was literally, I think, I don't remember when it was. I was out in Thailand when we had that conversation, but you said that the reason you actually wanted to go into it was because you just come back from Thailand.
Yeah.
And the first thing you had to do, you had to cut your holiday short because you had to go back to work, which is the main reason you sort of told me. But I remember you said the other day was that we had plans to go towards the back end of the year now, no?
Yeah, end of year, definitely go back to somewhere in Southeast Asia, potentially Vietnam or the
Yeah.
Philippines, but 100% go back out there, work for at least a month. I'll probably be making, yeah, even more money than I am now. And everything I spend out there will be paid for. So it's definitely quite nice.
You can't really
Something I
complain.
couldn't, something I couldn't do in the office. In the office, I'll have to take a holiday, which is what the most I had was 21 days.
Yeah.
So I could only go for 3 weeks. That's if I don't take any holidays throughout that whole year.
Yeah.
Now I have unlimited holidays.
Well, you can technically work from where you want, which is obviously the beautiful thing about it. You said 21 days holiday. How does your, I mean, it doesn't really correlate, but I just, in my mind, just ticking over. How does it actually look on a day-to-day as a setter then? Like, what does your day-to-day genuinely look like? Let's say you wake up, because I know you said a minute ago that you wake up at 6 a.m. for your old job,
Yeah.
back home for 5, 6, and then you got nothing else to do, and you know your day's done. How does your day-to-day look for now as a remote setter? Because I was at a gym the other day, and
Yeah.
I saw you there, and you was there at like fucking 3 p.m. So it's like,
Yeah.
talk me through how that day actually looks like now, because I know you're on a US offer as well,
Yeah.
as long as the UK. So how does that look?
So right now, yeah, I wake up. I mean, anytime I want, pretty much. But I'll normally wake up like 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Go to the gym, come back at 12, and then start my day pretty much. I've got meetings in the morning, just some team meetings, just make sure I'm on track, make sure everyone's on track. And then after that, 2, 3 p.m. onwards, I just hop on the phone, get some deals, and
So from
happy
3
life.
till what time do you finish roughly?
I would say about 12.
Okay, cool. So
Sometimes run over if it's like super busy or there's like a big event going on, I'll run over, but it's not every day.
yeah, okay. So for most people that are watching this, are probably going to be inside of a 9 to 5 as it is now. Do you think it's something that would be very feasible for you to run if you were still at a 9 to 5? Because obviously, like you said yourself, you were working from home. Would it be something you can run simultaneously?
100%. If you get home 5, 6 p.m., there's still loads of time in the day where you can. 6 hours a day is plenty of enough time. I'm putting in the extra hours, but yeah, you could do 6 hours a day and still be on have a good month.
Happy days then, happy days. In terms of you coming on board to Syndicate Setter, because obviously it's not all sunshines and rainbows. You see the lifestyle, you see obviously other people doing it, because you sent me a few other guys that were doing it. What were some, like, I wouldn't say misconceptions, but what were some things that you come into it and thinking, I don't know if it's real, like what were you thinking before you actually jumped into it? Because there's obviously, you didn't just look at it and think, fucking hell, this is great. You would obviously seen it and think like, oh, well, do you know what I mean? You'll have some sort of second thoughts.
I mean, of course, seeing it online, I've been seeing it online like months before I actually pulled a trigger. But seeing it online, it did seem a bit too good to be true. I was like, do I want to invest myself and potentially it goes sideways? And then I'm still stuck in a 9 to 5. I'm down in terms of money and I'm still in the same position. So it was definitely the too good to be true aspect, but I guess it did work out.
I didn't did that highlight to it. Like your worst case there would have been someone else's best case. Because your worst case, if it did all fail and let's say everything went tits up, everything went to shit, your worst case of back to a 9 to 5 is someone's best case dream life, which is why I always think like, what's the worst that can actually happen, especially if you are in the first world country, like somewhere like UK, where it's like you've got, you know, you can fall back on, let's say your parents, or you have got the backup there. 9 times out of 10, nothing's really going to happen. I mean, in regards to you just said there, what did you say? You said about it being too good to be true. Which part of that do you think was too good to be true? Was it like was it a lifestyle? Was it the money? Which part of it?
A bit of everything. It's like, now I know that it's true, so but how could you like sit there at home just doing the same thing I've done in the office, same amount of hours, but I'm getting 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the pay?
Yeah.
And on top of that, I can work remotely. But I could be sitting in Thailand earning 5 times more, but putting in the same kind of effort.
Yeah.
So it's definitely
that's the thing. It's like at the end of the day, it's like people look at that and you may see it because people, you're not exposed to that naturally. It's not like you were not exposed to that as most people are used to being like, okay, you go from college or to school to college to university to work, and that's that. No one really teaches you that you can actually make money being remote, you know, which is the beautiful thing about it. But at the same time, it's a little bit like, well, it's a big jump to take, but once you take that jump, like that's when you sort of see the other side of it. In your opinion, what was the decision that actually made that jump? Because obviously, like you said yourself, you were second guessing, is it too good to be true? What if I lose my money? What if I lose my savings? What was your decision like? What made you make that jump? What was like the final straw? Whether it was work, whether it was something that you see online, what was it?
I think it was just like the back of my mind saying, what happened? Like, what if I don't take it? Like, what if I had all this built up? I was like, I'm gonna do it, and then I just didn't. And then look back at it 6 months down the line, still working the same job and thinking, what happened? Like, what if I did take it?
Yeah.
So just what if factor, and I guess in the end it all worked out.
Well, they were only the start, to be fair, but like it's what we it's the same sort of things we use to set people. It's like you future pay someone. At the end of the day, if you carry on staying in the same position as you are, making £1,200 a month or £900 after tax, what you were making, it's like, well, 6 months down the line, you're going to be in the same position where you would have made 12 grand. In the last 6 weeks, you've made 8.
That's right, yeah.
So it's like you've just decided to make that jump and you've made what you would have made in half a year, but you decided to fuck that off and make it in 6 weeks instead, which is like the jump that we always talk about to people. It's like you've got to take the risk, because at the end of the day, if you don't, take the gamble and take the risk between yourself, there's no one else that will. And I always say the same thing. I say it to you and I always come back to it. And you always say it to me now, is if nothing changes, nothing's going to change, because it's all good you stay in the same position and wanting things to change, but like if you don't actually do something about it, there's going to be fuck all that changes, you know, and nothing's going to change. But I was going to ask you more so about the program, so the actual Inside Syndicate setup, just so people can like visualize and see what it is like. What does that actually look like inside the first week where you come on board and like you did actually take the trigger and you were, you know, that sort of relief where you did do it? What did that look like inside?
Yeah, I mean, inside, very, very supportive. So one-to-ones from day one, kind of ongoing support with yourself, kind of being my coach. So if I did struggle with anything, I had you to kind of help me out. The first few days were a little bit different and hard.
I think coming from a non-sales background, I think that's why it was a little bit on the ropey side.
Yeah, because I've never done sales. This is my first
like client facing role,
yeah.
really, because you never your old work, you weren't really speaking to customers, no?
No, I was just doing the back end, just doing business admin stuff.
So you
more
literally
like
on the computer all day.
Yeah.
And then what? So how was that transition? Did you find? Because obviously it's not natural to go from only knowing not speaking to people to now going to only speaking to people all day. How did that sort of feel transition? I know the first few days you said it's a bit awkward. How did that actually feel?
first few days going through like role plays and trying to like just doing the role play, speaking to people was hard, but when I got the hang of it, it was quite easy.
Is there anything specifically at the start where you did come into it that you particularly struggled with, that you were like, fucking hell, this is like, oh my God, like I can't actually get a hang of this?
I mean, I'll definitely say the objection handling. Even till this day, I'm still a little bit, there's some objections where they hit me with them and I'm a bit like, I don't really know what to say. After the call, I just got to do some research, do some little...
With the objections, do you feel like it's more so like an offer thing, or is it more of like a, you just need to know the objection, handle it?
I think it's, knowing, I guess it's a bit of both. Kind of knowing, because I don't get objections every day, but I feel like every day I get hit with new ones. So just knowing what to say when and the right time to try and to diffuse that objection and then getting them.
The good thing about it is like the objections, you don't really get too many, like you said yourself, because it's all warm inbound leads. So the beautiful thing about it is you're not speaking to people that don't want to speak to you. These people have applied. They want to buy the thing you're selling. All you're doing is qualifying to make sure they actually are a good fit. And that's the main sort of thing, which is why you said yourself, you don't really get too many, but the ones that you do, they're quite easy. Well, not easy, but they get quite repetitive to handle. You know, you get to a point where you probably heard the same objection now time and time and time again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and then I'll get a new one and that's just like a bit...
What's the weirdest one you've got? Or the most like, fucking like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I had a guy the other day, literally on Sunday. It wasn't really an objection, but he ended a call because his dogs were throwing up, and then he was messaging me. He's like, oh, "My dog shit." He's like, "My dog's shit more than I do." Well, he actually paid yesterday, so
how much did he close for?
6K.
6K.
It was a 12-minute call. It's a record. Like the closer was a 12-minute call.
How did you go about the like? My dog's just ill shit. How did you go about that objection?
Well, we were speaking, I was qualifying him, and out of nowhere, he just started shouting. I thought he was shouting at me. Turns out he was shouting at his dogs. And he's like, "My dogs are throwing up." He's like, "I'm going to call you back. I'm so sorry." And I thought that was a way for him to just basically tell me to fuck off. And he's not going to call me back. Turns out he messaged me back. He's like, "I'm so sorry. My dogs are throwing up and shit. And they shit more than I do." And I called him back and he was okay about it. And then...
So you just literally gave him a call back after he just shouted at you, and then you just thought, okay, sweet.
Yeah, and then next day, 12-minute call with the closer. So it's a record for me at least. A 12-minute call. The call started at 7. 12 past 7. The payment already came through.
It's not bad going. So what? How much did you make off that? How long was the whole duration of that deal then? How long did you?
With me, it was.
How long did you speak to him before he shouted at you and told you there's dog shitting?
Honestly, about 12 minutes. I remember the first call was 6 minutes and the second call was also 6. The second call, he was on the golf course, so he didn't really have time to speak. However, I got through everything. I would say in total it was a 25-minute deal.
For you and the closer, or just you?
Yeah, just both.
So breaking it down just for you. So how much was the deal? 6K?
6K.
And you made...
300.
You made 300 off the deal. And how long was the total time you spent with the prospect?
About 12 minutes.
So in 12 minutes, you made 300?
Yeah.
And how did that... So, I mean, when you sort of compare that to the job you was doing before, where you were making 1,200 a month.
I was making...
Over the course of what? A whole month, which is what? 8-hour days times 30. I don't even want to do the maths. But breaking down hourly rate, I mean, that's fucking like just mind blowing.
Yeah. I mean, so that was my salary when I was starting as a business admin. I was the apprentice. But yeah, I made $300 in one call.
Yeah.
Where I'd make $300 in 3 days in my other job. So it
So
felt
what you
it
made
felt
in 12
surreal.
minutes, yeah. And on average, how many dials are you doing? Because you said one call there. Obviously, not every call converts
Yeah.
into a deal or into a booking or anything like that. Of course, it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
How, in the sense of how many you do in a day? How does your like, average look like?
I'll probably say about 250 a day. That's what I aim for. Sometimes go a bit over when I'm feeling well. When I get that dopamine and when I get
A deal.
a deal or a set, that's when I just go over and
Yeah.
300, 350 sometimes.
And on average, when you're doing, let's say, you're dialed in from, you said 3 p.m., right? To about 12 to midnight, let's give or take. You're doing 250 dials. How do the conversions look at that? Like, let's say I think last time you said to me, you're booking about five to six calls every single day.
Yeah.
Nice. And they're all qualified calls and everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, when I started, I would say,
Yeah.
yeah, it was now I'll focus purely on the best leads. I'd rather qualify or I'd rather book in 5 of like the best than
Yeah.
20 of like,
Of course, always.
yeah.
Which is another thing what we always say inside in the cassette is like, of course, you come into it, right? You start making your money and you get onto a role where you've done obviously quite well from it, right? You've made a good amount of money from it. But it comes to it where people land the role and think they don't ever need any more help. But with you, it was very different. You landed a role and you kept coming back to me for advice. Even the deal your first one closed, you were like, how do I make this better? What do I do now? And that's the exact reason why you are just continuously going up in sort of income rather than going backwards, is because every time something happens, you still come to me, and it's not a case of like, I just think I know it all. It's more of a case of you still come and still ask for advice, which is always going to be there because it's more of a case of just one-to-one support. In regards to like the actual numbers, because obviously we spoke how much you make, how much you did, how much this, how much that. Like, what do the actual numbers look like? Crunching, like, obviously not timescales, but I know we spoke as of April, right? Which was your first like full proper month on
Yeah.
because we had a few offers before, which were trial error testing, which weren't the best. You made a bit of money. They, happens. We directly place you. They're not the best, which happens to everyone. You're not going to strike gold every single time. From let's say April, which is what day is it today? It's so 6 weeks as of today, right? How are we looking from April, the whole of April, and then as of to now?
So April was $4.2K, and
Yeah.
then as of 10, 11 days into the month now, we're on 3K. So in 6 weeks, about 7.2.
So this month here in 2 weeks, you've made 3K.
Yeah.
So breaking down that literally in front of a calculator right now, pacing numbers wise. So how we do pacing is whatever you've made for the days divided by the amount of days. So made like, let's say 3 grand, which is what Cass has made, divided by 10 days into the month, which is 300 a day, times by 30 days, how many in a month. So Cass was pacing 9K for the month this month. I mean, how is that looking? Do you think that's feasible or not?
Yeah, 100%. If I put in the hours, I mean, it's only getting better. Like my first ever month compared to now, I've made. If we look at 10th of the month last month, I was not doing as good.
Yeah.
I've hopefully next month, 10th of the month, I'll be on even more.
Yeah.
So
in regards to like offers, are you looking for new offers now? Are you still on the same one? Are you looking carrying looking for a UK one? How does that look on your end?
Well, yeah, right at the moment I'm on the US offer. You're doing US hours. But yeah, I'm looking for a UK one. If I can get one, I can. If of course not, I'm not actively looking. If something comes my way, then I'll risk it and take the leap and get on 2 at once. However, I'm not actively looking. It's just if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Happy days. That's exactly where you need to be. Which is why it's another thing. It's like you have that freedom. Whereas you were in a business admin job, it's a bit more corporate. It's like you're so tied to a business where it's like very contractual. You have to be set to that one business. With the remote sales space, I mean, you've seen it yourself. How does that look? When you go to an offer, it's like you just jump ship, right?
Yeah.
So it's not very like contractual where you can sort of, you can come into an offer and you think, okay, well, I'm on enough out and I'll leave it and I'll go to another one. You can sort of go around.
Oh yeah, I've seen people that come in lasting 3 days and in 3 days they just start slacking and then they get kicked off.
Which is why it's such a good environment because it's so fast paced. And I mean, you said it yourself. You prefer something where with your old job, it was a very slow and it's like you said yourself, behind the desk, you're not speaking to anyone. With this, it's very fast paced. Like your month can change within a day. Like you said to me earlier on, you've made your 3K in the 10 days, right? But you said you have how many deposits now to clear?
As of right, I think I've got about four deposits to clear.
Which are how much? What's the deal values?
I've got one for 13K, one for 6K paying tomorrow.
19.
I've got 1 8, and then one small one. I've got a 5. So I got at least about 25 to 30K in a pipeline, just waiting to be cleared this week.
So that's another how much?
Or cash collect, that'll be at 30K. So in comms, that'll be 1.5.
So £1,500. I don't know what you're already doing. So you're going to be at 5K obviously before mid of the month. So
Yeah.
you are still very much on track to smash that 9, potentially 10K with bonuses, which I know your company are very fucking juicy with bonuses.
Yeah.
They throw them out like there's no tomorrow. Let's wrap this up now. But if there was something that you had to say for someone watching this, for someone that is in a similar position to yourself, maybe, I don't know, in a different job, or just having a look on the fence of I'm in an RN, do I come on board, do I not? What is some advice you would give to them, or even give to yourself where you were starting, if they're just looking to get into it?
Best thing I'd say is just take the risk, take the leap, and it will all work out.
Cool, lovely stuff. Well, look, that's Caspar's interview. You're probably going to see him here in about a month's time when he hits 10K. We're going to be back in the same studio doing another testimonial video because he's a fucking animal. So, look, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.